All right, on this session of Study Ball, we are going to take a look at Joe Mixon and how he is used in the Cincinnati Bengals offense. We know they're going to hand the football to him. He's their primary runner. That is going to be a big part of this offense, especially with the Rams playing their 5-down looks. Got to have success running the football because that makes it tougher in the pass game. But not going to look at the run game so much. I'm going to look at what they do with Joe Mixon in the pass game. Had 40-plus catches this year. They do a lot of really, really good things with him out of the backfield. And you know, a lot of teams will leave their back end to block. This team in Cincinnati will send Joe Mixon out in what we call free release to get him in the pass game and try to get him the ball in space. So we looked at the Rams tight ends, which I think could be an X factor in the passing game of the Super Bowl. I think Joe Mixon could also be an X factor in the passing game for the Cincinnati Bengals. So the first thing that the Bengals like to do, Joe Burrow is extremely, the first thing that the Bengals like to do, something that the Bengals like to do, Joe Burrow feels very, very comfortable when they go with an empty set. So for those of you that may not be diehard football fans, simply means no backs in the backfield. We've got 5 receivers spread out, so it's just empty. Backfield is empty outside of the quarterback. They love to do this. Joe Burrow is very, very good, as we'll look at later in the week, at picking up his keys, getting his eyes in the right spot, and getting the ball out of his hands, which is going to be key against the front of this Rams team. And based on what the Rams defense does, taking what is there and available to him underneath. Okay, so Joe Mixon, they will put him out in space because he's a good route runner and he catches the ball extremely well. So we'll do a lot of different things, but this is where it'll start, is we'll go in empty and we'll try to create some matchups with some linebackers. And you see right here, we're going to do what we call a pivot route. Look like I'm going to go inside on a shallower choice, and then I'm going to bounce back to the outside. They believe that that's a good matchup for him against linebackers. Nice job right there. And Joe Burrow, this is going to be a key all day, is the ability to avoid sacks and avoid guys coming at him. He's done a great job so far through the playoffs of doing that, but get it out to your guy in space, and then Joe Mixon, when he's out there in space, can do some things. Okay, this time we're going to put him outside. Okay, so this allows us to go tight end, running back to one side, and our 3 big gun receivers to the other side. So having a back that can win in certain situations can be huge. And to have confidence as a quarterback. A lot of teams will put their back out here and he's just a dead player. It's like, oh, we're just going to put him out there to go in empty and we're going to just run him to try to clear out, and nobody on the defense respects him, and so you're able to play other guys because of it. A lot of teams will do this with their back. They put him outside, they run him on a go route, and then their inside guy will run a choice route. But this defender here doesn't really respect the go because it's like, oh, he's not really going to throw a go to his running back. They're just using him to clear out. So you want to make sure that your backs are viable options in whatever they're doing outside, and Joe Mixon is one of those guys. Okay, here you're going to see it's just a 3-man rush right here, so they're dropping everybody else underneath. No windows there. Joe's going to do what he does so well, buy time on the outside. And now look, we got a go route here with Joe Mixon against a linebacker in that situation. Like, most guys aren't going to throw down the field and throw a 50-yard pass to their running back. Joe Burrow, complete confidence, tacks down the field. Mixon able to track it, make a great catch, to kind of finish out that game right there. And so great confidence in Joe Mixon. Okay, they'll put him out here in space once again. So now we've got an empty set. And instead of having to hand the football off and block these 4 defenders here, what better way to get your guy out in space? Just run a quick one-step screen with him. Be another way, get the ball out in space. Let's go block him up. And now we get our guy into the secondary, and they're making big plays by just finding ways to create opportunity. Here's another way that they're going to do it. See the pressure, everybody stacked in the box. We're going to motion him late, snap the ball, and throw him a screen. Okay, so again, we're going to try to eliminate all these guys from having to block and having to make sure that everybody gets their guy. Let's just get him out in space and allow him to go one-on-one with these players out here where he's got the advantage and ball in his hands. And again, make a guy miss, get into the secondary. Joe Mixon really, really good in space, and so they're going to try to find ways to do that with the quick screens and with the empty sets where they believe they can get an advantage against a safety or a linebacker against this Rams team. Especially with that 5 down, now you put your back outside. Does that make the Rams show their hand and go cover him with a Leonard Floyd or a Von Miller? Or does it force them to drop a safety down to cover him? Something that I expect to see a lot in this game. Okay, the other thing that they do, a lot of teams, their big guns are outside, so they want to protect it up and throw it down the field to those guys. So they'll block this guy, right? They'll block these 5. They'll block their back as 6 because they can take care of these 6 guys. Something that Cincinnati likes to do, again, because Joe is so good at seeing things, recognizing, and getting the ball out of his hands, they will do what we call a free release with their back, meaning that he's got no blocking responsibilities. We're just going to get him out real quick. We're going to force the issue. What that does is it makes it easier on a quarterback. So let's just take a look at this play right here. Okay, we're going to run a little seam and a curl route right here, and then we're going to free release the back. So when we free release the back, it forces this guy to have to make a decision. Is he going to go cover the back real quick to the flat, or is he going to sit back and cover the curl? So it helps the quarterback get a quicker decision and a quicker read on the defense so they can get the ball out of their hands again, something that will be crucial against this front 4, front 5 of the Los Angeles Rams. So there it is, free release. He feels pressure, okay? So if they lose up front, as they've lost a number of times in the playoffs, they lose, okay, now all we're doing is it's like a run play, get the ball into the hands of our best runner quickly and allow him to make some hay outside. Good catch there. And look again, we're getting a first down. We're picking up 8, 9, 10 yards on these quick throws with the free releases. They love to do it down in the red zone where teams are playing a lot of zone coverage and they're all falling back. What you want to do in those situations is you want to get as many guys out as possible to attack those different zones and take advantage of it. So they're going to free release Joe Mixon again, this time to the short side. There it is. Okay, so we got man-to-man coverage, the safety coming down to try to cover him. We get a little rub right here. Once again, ball's out of our hands quickly to our back in space, makes a guy miss, get into the end zone. Something to keep your eyes on throughout the course of the Super Bowl. Okay, short yardage situations, they'll do some different things again because this guy can get out of the backfield and catch the football instead of having to worry about all these guys blocking these guys that are all loaded up here. Let's do some quick things with them, and we already talked about it. Motion him real quick, throw him a screen. Get him out in here with some kind of combinations. We can create a rub. He's good out of the backfield. Here, we're going to fake the run and do what we call T, tailback naked. We're going to motion with the jet. We've got this. Okay, we got faking the run off of here, and then we're simply just nakeding out off of that. Boom, get him the ball in space, let him do his damage. Once again, make a guy miss, get a little help from your buddies, and get yourself into the end zone. Really good stuff that they do with Joe Mixon. Okay, again, Joe Burrow does a good job of processing information, seeing things that are going on quickly, and getting the ball out of his hands. Okay, so this is actually a check, so he's not free releasing here. Joe Mixon's coming up, and he's got responsibility on one of these linebackers, maybe both of these linebackers here. But he also does a great job of knowing his check responsibilities. Everybody's dropping, get out. Get out quickly because Joe is going to look for you as checkdowns if he doesn't like what he's seeing. Back here, there's some confusion there, doesn't know what he's getting. Boom, get the ball to your back. Make a guy miss. Make another guy miss. Run through a guy. We're picking up 20 yards on a little check down. Joe Mixon, big part of the pass game. And then something that you'll see they've done a little bit. They did it a couple times in the red zone last week against the Chiefs. It was really, really effective. P. Ryan scored on a touchdown on the screen, and Joe Mixon had a nice 18-yard pickup on a screen. So you'll see them as they get to the fringe and around the 20-yard line, the red zone. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to fake like we're running it down the field. What I love is they run these routes too. It's not just screen, they'll run routes to get all these guys chasing defensively. And now we're going to drop it off to Joe Mixon down on the screen. Again, make a guy miss, get those guys out in front, do your job, get a big play. Okay, so you'll see the screens, the design screens as well. Here we go. We got the motion. We got the jet. We're making it look like a run off the play action. Once again, what do we got? So last time we ran all these guys in this direction and we threw the screen in that direction. Other times, you're going to run all the guys in one direction, all your receivers going to the left here, trying to get all the movement there. Now, we're going to run our screen back to the right-hand side. Drop it over, and you see, we've seen a number of really good catches, too, by Mixon here. A little one-handed catch right there. 18-yard pickup, setting them up inside the 10-yard line. So something to keep an eye on in this game is when the Bengals go to an empty set. Ways to get the ball out of their hands quickly. What do they do with Joe Mixon? Does he create a matchup for them in the pass game? Free releases. Okay, you get down into the red zone, getting the ball out to Joe Mixon in space, and then the screen game. No better way to slow down a pass rush that's really getting after you and really wants to get up the field fast. Then let him get up the field fast and then dump it over the top to your backs. They've been using that really, really well in recent weeks. So a few different ways to look at beyond Jamar Chase and beyond T. Higgins and those big playmakers on the outside, who may be the X factor in this game, in the pass game for the Cincinnati Bengals? May just be Joe Mixon.